regular meeting of the Houston County Hospital District Board of Directors for April the 17th, 2012. The first item on the agenda, we had to make a slight change on the February minutes. So if y'all will look at that, and we'll also need to approve the March minutes. So if y'all will look at that.
Motion approved by February minutes.
I have one discussion. We amended the minutes, as I read it, to show exactly who spoke, what, and so on, because we'd already entered in the minutes about somebody speaking. But according to Robert's Rules of Order, nothing should be entered in the minutes unless it is a motion that is acted upon. And so that, if we're going to follow Robert's Rules of Order, it should simply say public comments were forthcoming as per the agenda, but we should not mention specific comments or specific people if we're going to follow Robert's Rules of Order. So I don't know if a motion's in order to take that out of the minutes, or if you want to vote on a motion to leave it in.
Is that a mandatory thing, or is that just a suggestion from Robert's Rules of Order?
That is Robert's Rules of Order. And see, I wasn't on this board at its inception, but I'm just making an assumption that it was organized and planned to follow Robert's Rules of Order, but it should be a motion that's acted upon by the board.
The reason I ask, we have a lot of agenda items upon which we take no action, and we report them in the minutes.
Yeah, and if it's an agenda item, you could mention that they were discussed, but you should not, in the public comments, you should acknowledge that public comments were forthcoming. In my opinion, the way I interpret Robert's Rules of Order. If you want a further investigation, then I can print it out for the next meeting.
So, just for clarification, so in the minutes, under public comments, it should just say public comments were observed.
They were on the agenda, so they should be mentioned in the minutes, but specifics about those comments should not.
Before we discuss this, we just say,
we don't discuss it. Okay, so we're going to follow the report. So, should it name the name of the discussion?
You should all respond.
Say that's right. Subject and the comments.
they had public comment. Get it all.
But we do have a motion. Except the corrected minutes.
Except the corrected minutes, February 21st, and the March minutes. But if you want to make amendments, I think big second.
We could, I mean, we think you could do this from this point on. Would that be a problem from this point on? We now follow the proper law, or we have to go back and say
Why don't you let the motion stand this way?
Okay,
We have a motion.
we do not strictly adhere to Robert's Rules of Order in many ways. And to pick out one item to do this with, I think it's put us in the corner. To be honest with you, I would rather leave it like it is, let's loosely follow Robert's Rules of Order if somebody wants to say something. But we're not doing anything wrong. I think the way you got it here, that identify Mr. Stokes and say that others what he said, I think is, in my mind, is acceptable, and as you said, I appreciate your comments. I mean, I take them.
I do think one of the suggestions was that we kind of put who spoke and record verbatim what they said, and that'd be a little bit on the.
No, I don't think we should do that. I think to acknowledge that there were comments, and I think the way it's done here is quite simple. All right. So we have a motion to second. Anybody else discuss? All in favor, please say aye. let Dick go over that, please. Thank you all.
These are financials for March 30, the period ending March 31, 2012. Total cash, including CDs, is $2,918,572.89. Taxes received, $57,295.28. Prepaid insurance, $1,969.37. Total fixed assets, $6,479,835.40. Cash in the medical library fund, $15,812.84. Surplus certificate, $38,984.52. Total assets totaling $9,512,473. Reserve for taxes uncollected, $27,295.28. Total equity, $9,455,175.02. Total liabilities and equity, $9,512,473. Any questions? Profit and loss for the month of March. Net income for March is $24,565, which is made up of the regular monthly payments by ETMC of $2,419.54, EMS rent of $900, Women's Center $4,733.99, interest income of $3,199.47, and taxes received of $15,424.06.
Would you correct that income? I think you said 24,000.
Okay.
26.
26,677.
Thank you.
Janitorial service, $280. Housing, $213.94. Legal and professional, $936. Insurance, $448.57. Comparative maintenance, $230. Net income, $24,568.55. Year to date, $341,252.59. Comparing the year to date to the budget, we are over budget as far as residential rental. We're under budget as far as interest income. We're over budget as far as 121,000 taxes received, but those taxes all come in primarily from fashion up to the end of the year, and they slow down after January. We're under budget under tax district expenses. The audit should be presented next month. That's $10,000 there. Nursing school equipment was not a budgeted item. We'll correct that at the end of the year. And seminar expense I have been attending. So net income year to date $341,000. We budgeted net income of $228,000. So we're ahead of the budget of $112,000. Any questions concerning? Deposit detail, $900 EMS rent. The payment from ETMC of $7,053.53. Tax received $14,166. CD interest $3,130.64. Housing authority, it's in lieu of taxes of $457.89. Interest on the checking account of $66.88. Check detail, direct DB $109.42, Windstream $104.52, night fee of $800. Irma Chavez, the housekeeper, $280. Davis and Wilkerson, as an attorney, $136. Overhead door repair bill, $230. There is a CD renewing on April 21st, that's 4 days. I did talk to the First Community on April the 11th. The CD rate for 1 year would be 0.7, for 18 months, 0.75, and for 2 years, 1%. So I need some direction from the board about what they want to do.
I'd like to make a motion that we take money out of cash. We've got $121,000 cash. This seems like to be more than we acutely need. And we bring that CD up to $1 million and renew it for 2 years at 2.0%. Now, open to friendly amendments. I'm just trying to get someone discussion.
I'll second. You make a motion?
What was that left in the, what was that leave in the,
$300,000.
no, leave the content cash?
$350,000.
$350,000. We paid all we needed. We don't have any unexpected expenses to go back to.
You know, not to cost overruns on the surgery bill. But,
You have another one coming up in September, plus tax money will start coming in.
So that investment over 2 years would earn around $20,000. I got my zeros right.
We talked about having that woman come sometime.
I got something I'll share with you. I've communicated with her, and we're communicating.
Okay.
Her name is Cheryl Wood.
She's from Crockett.
I don't know.
I did.
Okay.
Well, she's my
And
class.
her partner is Mike McKinney's son.
She had mentioned that there were, this has been maybe a year ago, there were ways that tax entities could invest in things other than just CDs that were considered within the normal realm of the way city operations and other public operations. And we were getting 1% interest. It seemed like if there was no really other risk involved, that we should try to handle the taxpayer dollar.
Well, then you want to tie that in years pending her report.
You can always get it out.
We have that one coming up in September is $1 million.
So certainly whatever she has, you're going to stratify it, and even I can imagine put more than $1 million into something else. Yeah. And it'll take us till September to talk to her, think about it, and make a plan for it.
That makes sense. So there's a motion to take the CD that's maturing the 21st of this month, add $474,000 plus to it from the general operating money to make it $1 million. Invested for 2 years at 1%. We got it right? Yeah. Okay. You all ready to vote on it, or do you?
Well, I say-
Norman Nelson.
I did.
You all ready? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, she didn't. Thank you.
Announcement, it's not on.
Awesome. Here we go.
John,
Sir?
kind of an announcement, it's just a thank you letter from the Indiana College. This is a place to find
Yeah, please, yeah, read it out.
Because remember, we approved the $26,000 to get the A and B class going for their LVRN part of the school. And it's just a letter on behalf of the practice. I want to appreciate express my appreciation to the Houston County Hospital Board for their generous donation funds to the anatomy, physiology, lab, and CPR class. Speaking to the students regularly planning to advance the new course offered to make possible the board's donation. I welcome you, any board members, to stop our facility for tour. Thanks again to Tim Toro, coordinator of Rocket Career Technical Center, and they're going to start their first transition class on May 29th.
That's good.
You know, I think providing nurses and communities, providing health care, I think our nursing school is a great deal, and I think the next step is to get more out of the LV and so. So I think it's good, yes, sir.
Mr. Cutler, time for you, sir.
Yes, sir. PTMC Crockett Day. You know, I think we talked about it the last meeting, but you know, we still have remnants of those Medicaid cuts, reimbursement cuts, that has really affected our emergency room. You know, we anticipate going forward to see Medicare and also the physicians being cut. The physicians were stayed off by the AMA this time, but we were told recently at a conference that that's going to come back around. So it's more bad news for reimbursement for all hospitals. You know, we've had to become more efficient because of that. I think in the future we're going to have to keep looking at efficiencies as we go forward. So, and then the next item is the surgery. I talked to Rusty with RPR and asked him yesterday to give me some idea about construction. And he said his best estimates was it was 20% complete for the project back there. It's really taking shape. Now there's walls, or at least metal studs, where you can see where there's rooms and what those rooms might be. So there's a lot of work going on, but you know, invite everybody to go back there and see it. It's 10,000 square feet of raw construction. It's pretty neat. So.
20% sounds good. That's going for December there.
He says November. You know, I cringe every time he says this. He says one of the reasons is because you're not working in the weather.
Yeah, everything's
It's
inside.
it's under the cover and you're all inside, so there's no weather delay. So.
I was thinking, I was watching the guys walk all the way from there out to these sheds they have, like, you know, and then walk back, and I'm thinking, you know, they need to get a golf cart or something so they can buzz out there and pick up what they need and get back. I know they'll do that. What else?
That's all.
Ms. Blackburn.
I wanted to make note, first of all, that a couple of the items that were requested from ETMC last month, we've had no response on that, and that was regarding the two things I'm referring to are the CPI adjustment, the medical price index adjustment, and whether there are any audited financial statements for ETMC healthcare system. So. And then I wanted to report on our last lease committee meeting, which we met on Wednesday, April the 4th. The lease committee is suggesting that the Houston County Hospital District Board of Directors move forward investigating options regarding other healthcare providers. Another lease committee meeting is scheduled with our attorney, Kevin Reed, to discuss these options. I don't know if we have a date yet, but it's going to be within the next couple weeks or a month. And after this lease committee meeting with Kevin Reed, he will come and make a presentation to this board of directors
At the next board meeting.
at the next board meeting, or if we feel the need, we will call a special meeting to discuss that.
Well, the next board meeting is on the 15th, so is that correct? Dick, you got that down? Well, that's the third.
I do.
Whatever it is.
And based on that, do you want to make any kind of motion?
The fact that Houston County Hospital Board of Directors is for investigating options regarding other healthcare providers. I believe that the process behind that's going to be a RFP. That's what's total.
Well, that's something then that we could discuss with Mr. Reed when he comes to the committee meeting and get everything lined up to get that going.
They could. You really could talk to ETMC.
I did.
Are they interested in proposals at all?
I think they are. Yeah, we had a 2-hour discussion Friday before last with Mr. Massey and by Mr. Hill. Sorry. And we discussed a significant number of items. They don't really see things necessarily the way I see them, but I mean, they're in a different position than we are. Mr. Massey indicated several times, and I understand why he did this, that he thinks we have a successful operation in Crockett, and what he's basing that on is the fact that it's not in the red, it's in black, it's making money. And I told him that I agree with him. He made the point that if a hospital is not profitable, you're not going to have a hospital, and I conceded certainly that, I understand that. But I told him that I was coming from a different direction, that my focus, and I think the entire board's focus, is to provide, to make available as many services as we possibly can for the patients that are in our area that might want to use our services here. And so we talked about that. We talked about he's 90% financial on 90% service, and try to get to a 50-50 situation with both of us. We did not come to any agreement on how we would do that, but we did discuss.
They're not really seriously, what they are doing, what I can see is they are delaying until 3 years comes up, and we're not going to have an option. You know, Terry Ramsey's leaving. He's already turned in his note. Pretty soon, over the next few months, you're going to have more and more private positions. I think within certainly 6 months to a year of the initial positions, when ETMC came in, there may be one left. And that is, I mean, and what I think the intention of ETMC is very basically to run off on the other doctors so there's no options but to go. And I find that abhorrent because I'm one of the ones that are trying to run off. I feel that strongly. They make very little lip service about not trying to run these two off. You know, I mean, they are hostile to the initial positions. You know, Dr. Ramsey has been a source here for years and years, even prior to the ETMC funding, and the guy just couldn't take it anymore. And that's wrong. You know, I mean, that's wrong, and I think that we really need to seriously, I mean, we need to just stop playing games with people. That's what they want us to do, is play games. Along the operation, until there's nothing to say. We've got to act. We have to act, we have to act. That's my view. Okay?
Well, I did bring up I did ask Mr. Massey if he was aware of any problems with his rural company positions, and he said he was totally unaware of anything. He'd been down here and talked to them, and they indicated everything was just fine. So, that was his position. Okay, there's a motion.
That's the committee motion. We'll proceed with our.
So when Mr. Reed comes to the committee meeting, we will get him to draft that letter.
I would like to make another one. Okay.
Which motion?
Approve the committee.
No, the committee, I'm sorry. Does it need a second?
No, there's no need a second.
Committee.
Okay, the committee moves.
Yeah.
You want to put that in the committee?
It's motion to accept the report, I think. Is that right?
I'll set that for one and proceed with our.
You got that? Any questions? Any comments? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That's unanimous.
I think the comment, I think you need to also instruct everybody, including
Well, that's reviewing, that's all encompassing and reviewing the contract.
that's what I think. That's understood.
We go ahead and send out the request for proposals.
Well, we're going to meet with Kevin within the next 2 weeks. I will instruct him to have a draft of a letter. And we'll work on the list of people to whom we sent that will be EMC. And that's what the committee recommended. So that's what we'll do. And I don't think we're being premature. I mean, we're approaching. We're approaching the 17th year of a 20-year legacy. Is that all right? I got my arithmetic right. Okay. It's time for public comments, and all I would ask is that if you have something to say, that you stand and identify yourself, and please limit your comments to 5 minutes or less. I knew that was coming.
Yeah, you know me.
You know the 5-minute rule, right?
Yeah, I heard you. Well, I'm back. My name is Billy. Most of y'all know me. The ones who don't know me, that's my name. But I'm back by popular demand. And that demand is not from you guys, obviously, but from the people. You know, people talk to me. And I'm often the guy that everybody comes to from that side of town with the problem. Well, I'm going to tell y'all, I'm not here to play games. I'm here to just bring facts to you. The people are in the dark out in the community. It's a lot of anxiety, it's a lot of uneasy feelings, especially among the senior citizens, about what's going on over here. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to make an analogy first. All of y'all sports guys, I know that. I'm going to make a pro sports analogy, like the Yankees, the Red Sox, or the Lakers, maybe. The board, I would compare it to being the coach. The hospital are the players, and the patients are the players. Okay, both groups are important, and both groups need each other. But don't make no mistake about it, the people are always more important than the coach. In other words, players are always, because you're a coach, but you're not the player, but the patients are always going to come over the board. So the board needs to heed to what the people are talking about. The people love ETMC and Crockett. Whether y'all want to hear it, I don't care where you live or what kind of environment you're in, I'm telling you what the majority of the people like. They like the hospital, ETMC, over the board. And they're concerned about their Medicare doctors leaving, but they can understand it. But the greatest, most devastating thing you can do to this community is to close ETMC, because ETMC have put in the work. And I brought my mother with me. She's 8 years old, and she's been dealing with this hospital. Actually, she worked here back in the early 70s. She knows that she can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt. I doubt she speaks today because she don't feel good today. But she came to show her support for ETMC, not the board. But she understands the importance of the board. But these people depend on this hospital. And I've been my long talk about what the necessary, y'all know that, and I'm tired of preaching. But I will tell you unequivocally that the people, the majority of the people of Houston County are with this house, with ETMC, over the board. And another thing before I sit down, the Medicaid, Medicare situation, these people paid into the system. Now, I don't know who got a beef with Obama plan, whatever y'all call it, Obama health, but don't take it out on the citizens, the senior citizens, because it wasn't for them establishing America to where it is now. It'd be a new point. We wouldn't even be here. So they held their ground, and they deserve some entitlement because those laws were figured out years ago before any of y'all came to the position y'all in today. So don't throw them under the bus because they started the thing. And it won't work if you throw them under the bus because the future generation will throw y'all under the bus. But here's the deal. We keep ETMC, we work it out. I'm tired of preaching. I'm tired of coming here. Like I said, I'm talking about public demand. When the public demand me again, I'll come again. But we want ETMC here, and I'm not just speaking for myself. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, first, let me say, I'm not sure your mother would appreciate you telling her like how old she is.
I'm at 70.
Billy, I'm at a loss as to why you think that we want anything other than to keep the hospital open and to provide services to the senior citizens, especially the ones that have difficulty going out of town.
You know,
I can't comprehend why you think we don't want to do that.
I'm excuse me for interrupting you. I don't doubt y'all sincerity. I know all these guys, y'all hard. Y'all giving y'all all. But the impression in the community is it's a lot of bumbling and there's a lot of indecision going on. I don't know what it appears to you guys. Y'all do have yourself together because all of you all are accomplished professionals, and I respect each one of you to the highest. But it's the people, they don't understand, you know. So if we can clear it up and make it a clear statement, speak with one voice and some clarity, then people, I won't get this call. I'm not here just to show my new tie. I'm here to tell you what the people tell you. Because see, they send me out here. But sometimes they send me to take food out of a lion's mouth.
Okay.
And sometimes I get clawed up. But if I don't go try, then, you know, I'm not doing what they asked me to do.
Well, I'll stand by my statement, and I'd like you to take it as sincere as it's offered, because that's our primary focus, is to be sure that we do keep the hospital here and that we try to provide services for as many people who want to avail themselves as possible. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I need one thing clarified. What was the amount that y'all paid for CPR dummies? Was it 18,000 or 1,800?
I'm sorry, who are you?
Barbara LaRue.
Okay. Who has that figure? David, do you know?
$1,858.80.
It was 1,800, because there's been, some people have said 18,000, and I thought that was an awful lot.
Well, I'm
for
reading
CPR
from the
dummies.
minutes, presuming the minutes were provided, it says $1,850.80. That's from the February 21st meeting. That's from the minutes, so
Because there's been two figures in the paper
Okay.
on that deal. And then the hospital board gave Angelina College, what was it, 28,000?
26, I think.
26,000
that's a bid, correct?
to do a lab?
Anatomy, physiology course, correct.
Anatomy and physiology lab.
Okay, my question is why?
Provide nurses for Houston County.
Huh?
To provide nurses for Houston County. We think nurses are an important part of that.
Well, I think nurses are important too, but why would Houston County Hospital Board pay Angelina College to put these courses in when that's what they're there for?
Well, just like we built this nursing school here, that's run by Angelina College. Angelina College produces the school. We're not in a position to keep the school. So we're enabling educators to provide us nurses.
I was just wondering why taxpayer money was used to
Provide health care.
provide for a course at a college that is supposed to provide, that's what they're supposed to provide. Why was taxpayer money?
Because it was, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was indicated to me that had we not done that, it would have been difficult for them to provide that service. Just like had we not built this building for the nursing school, they would not have been able to have a nursing school here.
Since we were a tax district, even 30 years ago, it's been very common for the hospital to support nursing. Back when we had an LVN school here many years ago, 30, 35 years ago.
I know the hospital had LVN.
And we still support that as a district. We think providing.
I just wondered why. You know, it just seemed kind of odd to me that Angelina College is a college that is supposed to have courses to offer to students. So
Okay, well, as I said, it was indicated that without our help, they would not have had that course.
Okay. And I want
Is
to
that-
say,
that clear?
that clear, yeah.
Okay.
Angelina College is the one that said
Okay, all right. Now, everybody, I've heard a lot of different things about the hospital board making the decision to look for a new hospital. You know, instead of having, when ETMC's,
Right now, we're in the process of, the contract runs out in 3 years. We don't want to wait 2.5 years to start renewing the contract. We're in the process of renewing the contract with someone. It may be ETMC. Doesn't really look like it's going to be because they haven't indicated a strong interest in doing that. But we do need to start looking for someone to lease the hospital, just as that has been done for the last 17 years.
so you haven't gotten any reaction out of
So
ETMC?
we've got reactions, but Not what you would call positive reaction.
Not a positive reaction. Okay. Is there any way that this board could write something up and let the public know exactly what's going on and why? Because, especially in Houston County, things get so out of whack. This side says this side said that. The people in Houston County do not know what's going on. Half the people in Houston County think the board is trying to run ETMC out. The other half thinks we need a new hospital. Is there any way that this board can clarify this mess?
Well, I think probably the media will clarify it next week based on what we said tonight, don't you think?
Well, I'm not sure, because there's got to be reasons why ETMC and Houston County Hospital Board are not reaching an agreement. Right?
Needs clarification of that, and they're not providing the services guaranteed by their contract. And if they would manage the hospital according to the contract.
That's not true. We are.
Well, okay, wait. We're not going to get into this tonight, okay? We'll take what you asked under and see if there's something we can do. But basically,
Because there's
every meeting we have is reported on in the media. They tape it, they put it on some internet website. So there's a lot of information.
I know there's a lot of stuff out there. There's been write-ups. There's been paper, this side wrote this side wrote that, and it's totally confusing to the public. And it does scare the older people, because there's a lot of people that depend on.
Okay, let me repeat that our focus is to make sure that we continue to have a hospital here functioning at the maximum that it possibly can to provide services for people, especially people that have difficulty leaving town to go somewhere. Okay, does that? I hope that's clear.
That's what 80% Houston County.
Please report that to the media that I said that, would you? Because that is the absolute truth. Absolute truth.
So what y'all are doing now is just putting out feelers to see what kind of other service that we can get into Houston County.
I guess you could say that's part of it, yeah.
Yeah, because I know that being that this is a retirement, there's a lot of Medicare, Medicaid, depending on what the government does with all this health insurance. It's a big mess right now. Hopefully we'll have something in June. But that's all I had, because there's just so many people upset out there. And it's just.
Well, I'm trying to be as straightforward and honest and open as I can.
Okay.
So
That's what the people need, is to kind of not be scared. We're looking at this, we're trying to work with ETMC.
it's not us that's making them scared. It's people that are misinterpreting what we're doing. They're putting out false information that might possibly be.
Okay, well,
But
yeah.
I thank you for your comments.
Okay.
Anybody else? We're having a good time here. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Daphne Hereford. Forgive me if I don't stand. I have 3 little issues that I would like to ask about. First, for the audience, it is extremely difficult to hear you all when you're talking. Now, especially with your backs to the audience. If you could do something about that, perhaps get a microphone system or speak louder. It's very difficult for us to hear. Secondly, regarding the February 21st minutes, in the revised version, you listed the employee comments as various ETMC employees expressed concerns about their jobs. That's a bit misleading, because what they actually did, and it would be nice if you're going to leave those comments in there, that it be reflected appropriately. The employees expressed concerns about their jobs if the lease was not renewed with ETMC. that part needs to be, I think, clarified. And the third item, as I recall from the meeting, the CPR equipment during the meeting, and you might ask Mr. Murchison to go back and review the tape. The CPR equipment in the tape was quoted as $18,000, not $1,800. So which amount, is it really? Is it really the $1,800 or $18,000? Because the tape said $18,000. And those are all the comments that I have.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? All right, we're adjourned. Thank y'all.